Hello, welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today we are going to be talking about piano charts in Power BI. So what the hell is a piano chart? Well, I didn't know either when I started this, and I still don't know if they're actually a real thing outside of actually just showing how to play a piano. But anyway, we're gonna get into them. They're kind of interesting. So it started out with ABC 777. This individual was, does anybody have a web link or guide on how to build a piano chart? They were asking for year over year in Power BI. That'd be great if you could help. I'm like, what the hell is a piano chart? I'm not familiar with that. So they posted this image. So this looks like it came off of LinkedIn, Art Tenick. And it has some little hints in here, like one core visual aligning clustered column chart, no Deneb or anything like that. It was inspired by this Tableau post by Guido. Not gonna try it. And so basically you have this chart here, which I can see kind of looks like a piano, like black keys, white keys, I guess you could say. And then you have, this stuff up here, which lists like the year over year or month over month change. Now, this was done month over month, so I tried to replicate this. You can do it for month over month. You can do it for year over year, easy enough, right? I posted, this was an early example of what I posted. I've improved this a lot, quite a bit since I posted that, so I figured I'd make a video on it and show everybody how to do it. And this is what I came up with here, right here, which I think looked pretty close to the example that was posted by Art Tenick. And it does use a clustered column and line chart. I thought originally, I was like, well, I don't know if I need the line chart. It looks just like a clustered column chart with error bars is what it looks like to me. But of course, it's Power BI. Nothing's that easy. If you want to do anything visually interesting, it's always jump through 20,000 hoops, right? Because that's Microsoft for you. All right, so I'm going to show you how I built this. It really isn't that complex once you figure out the tricks to doing it. But well, we'll get into it. Here's the data that I used. So I just whipped up a quick enter data query, just threw some numbers in there, got my month and my month sort columns, right? And away we went. So, and then here's my month over month calculation. That's not really the point of this video, but right, revenue, get the month, get a new table with the last month, do a sum X over it, divide the two numbers, and blah, 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 and away you go. Okay, so let's start with a new page. We're going to start with a blank page, and we're going to start with this line and stack column chart. Okay, so first order business, we're going to get our column in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our month, and we're going to throw it in our x-axis, and our column 1, our revenue, throw it in our y-axis, and boom, there we've got our columns. So we want to format these real quick. Let's see, we'll get rid of the grid lines. We will turn the columns black. So we've got that going on. I got rid of the grid lines. Oh, we need our data labels. So data labels, we don't want them there. We want them on the inside end. All right, so there we have that going for us. So next step that we want to get in, we want to get our error bars. So our error bars, error bars. So what I did was I created this measure. This measure is simply get the maximum revenue for the month for a month in question, and then multiply it by 1.11111. It's just it may be different for you, but I wanted to make it dynamic, right? So what I can do is I can turn on error bars. So sum of column 1, enable the error bars, take my measure and throw it in here as the upper bound. Now this is what I thought originally, right? I would be able to come in here and go to my markers and like change the shape of the markers and make them bigger and do all this stuff. It's just, of course, it's just too limited, right, in Power BI, because I can't control, I can control the color of my bar, but not dynamically, right? Because conditional formatting, right, isn't there. And my error labels also, like if I want to turn those on and just display this 20 million, I don't have any way to customize them, right? In terms of like I do with data labels, right? Data label can be completely unrelated to, what's going on. But these error labels, they can't be. So it's just too many limitations in Power BI, right? In terms of this sort of stuff to make it easy, right? Microsoft wants everyone to jump through hoops with this stuff. It's their mission in life to thwart and frustrate Power BI users as much as possible. And in fact, if you want to know like what new features that Microsoft's going to come out with, if it's a feature that would be, used by the vast majority of users and be helpful and increase productivity, Microsoft will never implement that feature, right? They'll implement everything besides that feature, if at all possible. They'll go out and put out dark mode, TMDL, what any kind of useless feature or feature that's useful for like 1% of the community. That's what they're going to focus on. They will never focus on things that are universally useful to everyone, right? That's how you know, right? So anyway, get off that. We don't want our markers and we don't want the error labels. We just want the vertical lines. So there we go. We've got that now. So now we want to have that line that goes across the top, right? So what we can do is we can take our measure, the same measure we used for our upper bound, and we can put it here. Now we'll have to do a little formatting, right? So we'll go to our lines. We don't want the width to be, we want it to match the line thickness of our error bar. So either increase the line thickness of the error bars or decrease the thickness here. And then we're going to make this also black. And then we don't want data labels on for this. So we take our measure and we turn it off. So now we've got our line right there. So next order of business, we now need to get our label, our markers and our labels, right? And I've got those separated out into 4 different measures. So I have this POS marker, right? So this is the positive marker because I want my markers to be different colors, data labels to be different colors. So I have them in different series. And so it's kind of the same thing where it's basically if the month over month is greater than 0, then I get the max revenue in the table and multiply it this time by 1.1389, right? For my label, it's the same kind of concept, only it's 1.2222, right? And the negative is it's the same thing, right? It's like if it's less than 0, then return a value. Otherwise, you're just going to return blanks, right? So let's get our marker in here, and I'll show you where some of the stuff starts to go wrong and how you fix it. So I go in and put my POS marker in here. You can see, okay, I've got my line here and all of that stuff, but also you can see this is not correct. So I've got 0 over here and this, I want these two to be synced. The easiest way to sync those things is to come in here and go to your secondary x-axis. And you see how this values is off, even though you see the values, right? Bug, right? Microsoft's never going to fix it because it's Microsoft. So you turn them on, you turn them back off, oh, boom, everything's synced. Magical. It's magical. Turn them back on. Nope. Turn them off. So everything's synced up. We're just using this one axis over here. Easiest way to sync up your secondary y-axis with your primary y-axis is to do that. Okay. So now our line, we want POS marker. We want to turn it off. We don't want to see that line. And we also do not want to see a data label, because this is not the data label. So we're going to take our POS marker, turn off the data label. What we do want is we want our marker. So we're going to take our marker, POS marker, turn it on. There we go. We're going to increase the size to 10, right? And then we want our color be, in this case, we want it to be green. Okay, there we have our positive markers. And we're also going to now add our positive labels. So this time we're going to put our labels in here. You see the lines above, right? So what we're going to do is we want our data labels on, but we don't want our line on. So if it was label, we're going to turn that off. So now our line goes away. Now the next thing that we need is we need our data label. We do want that on. So POS label, we've got it shown on, but we need to tweak it, right? So we want the value. We don't want the value to be POS label. We want it to be the month over month measure. Now it shows up like this. So what we need to do is we need to come in here and let's see. I think I have to go to display units and say none. So that gives us this. And then I think I have to make sure that the position is above. And that raises it above instead of having it interfere with our marker. And the last item here is our color. We want to make it green. So there we have it. So now because it's Power BI, we get to repeat everything yet again. If this was a smart tool, right, we could have done that once. We could have had a conditional formatting, and that sort of thing. But unfortunately, that's not how it works with Power BI, right? because there's no conditional formatting here. So, I mean, yes, so in theory, we could have used one for one series for the labels, but if you're going to already have to do it again for the markers, you might as well just do it again for the labels. So I just used 4. We could have gotten away with 3, I suppose. Okay. Anyway, get to do it all again. Take our negative marker, plop it in here. Might as well take our negative label and plop it in here. And then we want to get rid of this stupid legend. Okay, so now we have to go to our lines. We don't want to see our negative marker line, turn that off. Don't want to see our negative label line, we turn that off. Let's see, for our marker, we're going to take our negative marker. We're going to turn it on. We're going to increase its size to 10. Make its color something other than like gross fuchsia. Make it that. We also have to turn off our, so we got our marker on. We have to turn our data labels off for our negative marker. Turn it off. We want it on for our negative label, but we want it to be the value to be display units of none. We want the position to be above. We want the actual value to not be that, but be our MOM. And then we want our color be red. And there you have it. There is our piano chart. So that we could rename this, rename the few different things, right? Save our work. But that's it. That's all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.